Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the NECA quarter scale Harley Quinn from Batman Arkham City. You guys know NECA's been doing a really good job with these quarter scale figures, and this figure is no different. I was a little bit worried that the simple design of a lady with almost no armor or any baggy clothes or anything like that would mean less articulation, less detail, overall a less interesting figure, but I have to say they did a really good job with this. It might be the best one I've seen, and I know that sounds weird, and I'm not just saying it because of the cleavage and the boobages. It's a really good figure, so let's get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands just about 17¼ inches tall, which makes it just about 43 centimeters to the top of the head. The hair poofs up just a little bit in the pigtails, but that's a good enough estimate for the size. So she's pretty well scaled, a little bit shorter than the other figures at this quarter scale, so that's a good thing. And this figure is loaded with detail. I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, I was a little bit worried it was going to be kind of bland, kind of vanilla. It looks great, and I have to say it's probably the best likeness to the Arkham City Harley Quinn that we've seen in any figure to date. So that's a really good thing. And if you look at the face, they nailed the paint job on the face. It has that really nice makeup look. You can kind of see the flesh tone coming through. Looks very good. The hair paint, I think, could be a little bit better. There's a bit too much of a clean line where the black and the red stops, but otherwise it's really good. There's shading throughout all of the hair. The sculpt on the hair, I think, is fantastic. It looks really good and matches the game design very well. The paint job on the rest of the figure, also very good. You can see they painted all of the buckles and buttons and snaps, and very clean paint jobs, no problems. All of the red to black line work, like for the lace or laces right here on her corset thing, those are good. The tampography they did for the arm tattoo, very good. The waist tattoo, also very good. Basically everything looks really good on this thing. They added lots of shading in the reds, none in the black, but that's understandable. You can see down on the leg, lots of detail work, multiple reds, and then of course the wash, and then the silver buttons and everything. The little diamond pattern looks really good. The belt looks really good. This figure's got a really high level of quality to it. I was expecting less. I don't know why, but I was, and they didn't deliver. Thankfully, they delivered in a much better way. I have two gripes with this figure. One we'll talk about right now because it's readily apparent, and that is the straps right here, which I made a joke about calling them suspenders in one review, and everybody freaked out. Those aren't suspenders, those are a thong. I know, guys. Calm down, relax. It's a thong, I get it. Anyway, the straps on this thing, they don't go all the way under the pants, so it looks a little weird. They just kind of stop. They terminate a little bit too early, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. You can probably adjust the pants because it's a soft material a little bit if you need to. I haven't bothered trying yet because it's not that big of a deal. We do have some really nice details in the belt. Obviously, we have a real metal chain, and the belt itself is layered like it's a real belt. We have the little end part of the belt, which is a separate piece. The same thing is true of the tops of the boots. They're separate pieces, and it just adds a little bit of realism to the figure, so that's pretty nice. Now, before we go through the articulation, let's talk accessories. We have a total of 4 hands. We have the one style pose hand and one bat gripping hand, and then we have the 2 gun gripping hands, which have guns to go with them, and of course we have the bat to go with the bat gripping hand. And now this is my other complaint. I don't believe this bat is accurate to the game. Now maybe it changed throughout the game and I don't remember anymore, but I thought the bat was mostly like a steel color with a gray handle and not this design. I could be wrong, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure the bat's not accurate. Maybe this is an earlier model that they used when they were designing the figure and they just weren't able to update it. I don't know, but the bat seems to be a little bit off. Hardly a big deal, but it's something worth noting. So now let's talk about the articulation. The head is on a double ball peg, but it really just functions like a single. In fact, it might be a single. It feels like it could be a double, but it's hard to say. But it does move around nicely. You can look her up a little bit, down a little bit. I said look her up. That's not the right terminology. Obviously, full rotation. You can lean the head from side to side, so you can put her in some nice style poses. And then, of course, the hair has a ball peg for each piece, so that can move around however you want. So definitely a good range, and you'll see there's no gapping in the neck. I wish more companies would give us neck articulation like this. Look at the range. No gapping at all, so that's pretty nice. Obviously, you could have more range, but it's still pretty darn good. For the shoulders, we have the ball hinge. Fixed ball hinge, no swivel on this end, but you get all the way horizontal, full range, no problem. You can rotate the arm around. This is soft plastic, so it won't get in the way. You can bring the arm straight forward if you want to. At least really close, not perfectly, but pretty close. You have your bicep swivel right here at the top of the glove, so that you can't even tell it's there. I wasn't sure there was articulation there, but there is. And then you have your elbow hinge, which gives you a little bit better than 90 degrees, and technically this can rotate also. You don't really need that on top of this, but you do have them both, so that's pretty good. And then the wrists, I'm especially impressed by the wrists, just because it's such a basic design, but you get such good range. It's just a double ball peg, but look at that range. You can move the hand any way you want to. I wish more figures would implement that kind of design. For the torso, we have a little bit of a limitation. This is all hollow right here, and I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a second, like a joint inside up here somewhere that you can move it around. I can't move it around in there, so I'm not sure if that's the case, but there's definitely at least a single ball peg down here where you can rotate the figure around. I don't have much luck getting it to lean that much. You can lean it a little bit, which isn't bad. I mean, it's a decent range, but it's not the most range, and I haven't had much luck going side to side. That seems to be even a little bit more limited, but again, it is there. It's just not the best, so that's up to you if you like that or not. For the hips, we have a pretty good setup. I mean, they have pretty much all the range you want going forward. You can maybe even go one more click. I haven't tried, but it does get a little tight. I think it bumps into some of the internals there, so I wouldn't try too hard, but you can get the legs pretty far forward and all the way out to the side. So if you want to put her in a kicking pose, you can do that. I will warn you, there is flesh tone underneath there, so it can look a little questionable. So be careful who walks in on you while you're posing this figure. You don't want to have any awkward instances. You do have a thigh swivel on either leg, of course, which works really nicely. No problem there. That's all the way up here. You get one down here too. Extra articulation never hurt. Especially since it's hidden. It's not like it looks bad or anything, so we don't have to worry about it. Double jointed knee, just like any standard action figure. Really good range, of course. All the way. That hurt. I just pinched my finger. No problem with the knees. And then lastly, for the ankles, we have a double ball peg, which has surprisingly good range. Better than any of the other quarter scale figures I've looked at from them. So you can move the ankles pretty much however you want to. Not so far forward, but you have a decent range. It's about, maybe 70 degrees of range, so it's not too bad. So I have to say, this figure is pretty impressive. I am very pleased to have it, and I think you guys will be too. It's a nice addition, especially if you have any of the Batman figures. This will go nicely with them. Even though they haven't made a quarter scale Arkham City Batman, this will still go nicely with the ones they have made. It's probably the best look for Harley in the games anyway, so why not pick it up? I think you should. It's pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff, so make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.